P5X first anniversary is coming really soon, and we are getting another selector. This time, we have 19 characters to choose from. So I've done two videos already on the selector. One was another character selector, and then the second one was the weapon selector. If you haven't watched that and you haven't claimed yet, you should go watch the video, because I'm not going to repeat everything I said. So I'll be using the same tier list that I did with the character selector from I think 4.1 or something. So again, I won't repeat everything that's already ranked. Okay, everything pretty much still applies. So I will just immediately start with Summer Closer. Summer Closer is a DPS, and she is still okay. She's still good. Not as good as she's actually not as good as Haru. Actually, in Guild Boss, Haru can outscore Summer Closer. So that's something to take note. Then another DPS we have Mesa. Mesa also not bad. And I think he also recently got a Mindscape core buff. Actually, Queen also got one, so that's something to take note. If you don't have like these characters, right, you can choose the cooldown. But if you really wanna, have the most valuable investment, there are some better options. And then after that we have Haru, and then Frostgale Monk. These are all DPSs. So all of these are not like terrible picks. If you don't have them, you can pick them. The best pick out of all DPS is obviously in Frostgale Monk. She's the most recent, and she's still right now still pretty good. And in the Chinese version, she also got Mindscape core buff, and she's T0.5, the same rank as Makoto Yuki. So that's something to take note again. And let me just very quickly talk about each of them, like the four of these. Like I already mentioned, Summer Closer is still okay. The only thing to pay attention when you use her is to heal, because her skill 3 cooldown is based on the Tropical Heart, which is the stack you gain when you heal 5 times. And the good thing is that blessing stacks do count as a healing. So if you run Glimmer with Summer Closer, you automatically get 1 stack every turn, because Glimmer gives a blessing stack to the DPS. Running healer is recommended, or if you are another character that can heal, that also works. Like Cord, for example. Cord can heal with a passive that heals after an ally uses highlight. Yeah, I wouldn't really recommend her, but if you want, go ahead. Next up we have Mesa. Mesa also, he's fine, but the problem with him is the DOT stacks. They've really nerfed the DOT stacks, because how DOT works is it basically scales on the target's main HP. So you can imagine that the higher the HP of your target, the more damage it does. So that kinda sucks. He does have a part where he does physical damage based on attack, but that's not enough. But recently in the CN version, he did get like a Mindscape core buff. It's not ranked yet because it's very recent. And I believe he got like a buff to the DOT, but more of the DOT scales on attack. So it's definitely a buff to him. But I would say he is a very fun character to use. He has like the coolest animations, satisfying to use. And also one of the easiest DPS to use. Just use skill 1, then highlight, then you spam skill 2 all the way. Occasionally, maybe if you want to end the battle with a skill 3 then skill 2 on the same turn, activate the Reaper mode, you can do that as well. Next up we have Haru, a very popular character. She is still pretty good overall, even in global right now. The damage is pretty good. The only maybe a slight downside is the element accuracy requirement of 150%. But if you can even get to 100%, that's actually good enough. And the thing about her is that she does need element accuracy to really hit at least 100%. So she does need a little bit more investment to really unlock the full potential. And she's also a 3-turn burst DPS, so she takes a while to set up. So it depends on what you prioritize, of course. If you just want to farm content, she is gonna be slow. And the way she works is you use skill 1, skill 2, so skill 3 to gain bullet, and or highlight also gives a bullet. Skill 2 usually you don't use because it's single target. It's gonna be like 1-3, highlight, use it on turn 1, turn 2, then turn 3 use the gun, do big damage. And the final DPS for Frostgale, still pretty good overall, but now we have Kotoyuki, Kasumi, both are better than Frostgale. She falls out a little bit, but like I already said also, she did get a Mindscape core buff, which makes her about the same as Kotoyuki now in the Chinese version. And she has the perk of changing ice or wind, but personally I never use wind because there's not really any ice assassin content, so like there's no like only one ice weak enemy, so you never really need to change the ice. But that's just something to consider, I guess. Damage is pretty good, highlight is also pretty good. Before I forget, let's just put Cherish to standard, because he is standard. He's coming soon. Of course, coming to standard doesn't mean you will get him, but I still don't recommend pulling for him or getting him from the selector. Just don't, because you can get Sawamoko instead of Cherish. Why would you choose Cherish if you can choose Sawamoko? Sawamoko is literally just better. And Cherish, at least for Ace Astro, when you compare them at the same awareness, Sawamoko definitely better. Yeah, I forgot to give this a name. Let's call it Just Heal, I don't know. Sawamoko, overall a good healer, though I need to define a bit more on what good means. She is not that good at keeping her team alive. Honestly, A0 R0 she lacks it because her skill of 2 only heals 2 characters. And another way of healing is from the resonance, which heals okay. It doesn't heal as much as Marion, and her healing doesn't compare to Cherish's shield. So in terms of sustain, Sawamoko lacks a bit. It's even worse if you don't have a weapon, because a weapon gives you healing buff. So you're gonna struggle more with tanking if you don't have a weapon. Outside of healing, she is good in terms of buffing, because she buffs quite a few things. She buffs attack. Democracy, this one is for Haru mostly. Also buff damage. Skill 3 also increase damage taken, so more damage multiplier. And then if you do have a weapon, also has defense debuff, which is very nice, and also damage taken increase. So overall, she is nice. But she only really like shines at A1 because you can get up to 45% defense debuff, which is really high. And the skill 2 becomes AoE healing, which makes sustain really good. Yeah, you can even consider A1 Sawamoko. Honestly, A1 Sawamoko is pretty good. If you don't have her, I would still recommend getting her A0 if you don't plan to get anything higher than her. Or if you already have Court and the first one, Futaba. It's Futaba, man. Like, come on. If you don't have Futaba, I think you should just pick it up. Really. I know Miku is coming soon, which is a navigator. So if you're the Anj, you already have Miku, then Futaba is a third navigator. It's kinda overkill, kinda. And we still don't have the 3 cube boss thing in global. So Futaba's usage is gonna drop a lot once Miku comes. It's in maybe a few hours from now. But Futaba is still useful for like extra lab, which you can use like 3-4 navigators, so that will make your life easier. And Futaba is still like not bad. She's still good. And of course we still don't know how strong Miku is, but she's not released yet at the time of recording this video. But I expect Miku to be strong. But yeah, Futaba is still good because the main thing that she does, and I think she's the only person, any character that does it so far, is a weakness thing. Changing resistance to neutral, neutral to weak, weak to even weaker. Changing weakness is really good because the weakness is literally like a final damage thing in the damage formula. So it buffs a lot of damage. The only downside to that is that you can only use it 2 times in the fight in 6 turns. It's from the skill 3. The skill 3 also gives you a good amount of attack, like 1000 something attack. It's very strong. Skill 1 has defense debuff. Also very useful. Another downside to her is that she really only works with 3 turn DPS because of the skill 3 on turns 3 and 6. If you're using 2 turn DPS, yeah, like Firecracker in, Akechi doesn't even work well because Akechi cannot hit weakness. But you get the point. 2 turn DPS not that good. If it's single target 2 turn DPS, it's still okay because there's skill 2. So you can just do like 1-2-2, 1-3, something like that. But 2 turn AoE DPS is gonna struggle with Futaba. That's when you run Anj or maybe even Miku. But yeah, I still recommend getting Futaba if you don't have her. And maybe let me just briefly talk about Court again. If you already have Court A0, you don't have Futaba, I would still just go Futaba. If you don't have Futaba, just go Futaba. Really, I think so. If you have Futaba, don't have Court, go for Court. If you have both, you can choose A1 Court, A1 Futaba, or get Sawamoko as well. So I guess it really depends what you want. But if you want to go for like A1 or A2, I think I will go for Court over Futaba. Mainly because of Miku. Because Court at least has her niche with the highlight. So she will be useful when characters that do massive damage to highlight comes out, which we have quite a few coming soon. So Court still has a value. Futaba value, I think, will drop when Miku arrives. So if you really want to play one awareness, I will pick Court. If you don't have any of these 3, I will just pick the one you don't have. Or if you have everything, or DPS you don't have, you can also choose one. So it's up to you. Now what about me? Who would I pick? So I have pretty much everyone here except for Yui, but I'm not gonna consider these 2 tiers. Okay, we're just gonna look from the DPS to Futaba. We have everybody at A0, Court at A2. So I would choose either Futaba or Court. So A1 Futaba or A3 Court. I think it's gonna depend on Miku. If Miku is not as strong as we thought, then I will go for Futaba for the A1. If Miku is broken, then maybe I skip Futaba and get the Court A3. Another thing to consider is guild boss. If finally 3 guild boss comes to global, I will get A1 Futaba because 3 guild boss means you need 3 navigators, right? So giving Futaba A1 will be really helpful. If it's still gonna be 2 guild boss, I think I would still go for A3 Court. I still haven't finalized my decision yet because again it really depends on Miku.